Johnny Murray here, and today we are going to be talking about Warner Bros. Games. I know this is a random video, and I know you probably didn't really expect this. However, if you've been keeping up with the gaming news, like I said, I'm going to try and cover more gaming news like as just a regular weekly type of video. And if you've been looking at gaming news today, at the time of recording this, February 7th, 2025, you'll know that Warner Bros. Games has revealed a lot of information about a lot of their upcoming games, about what a lot of their studios are doing. We're going to talk about that because I find it really interesting. There is some excitement here, there is some concern, and there is some, okay, just good things to know when it comes to Warner Bros. Games. So we're going to talk about all that, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, impressions, break down what we can figure out. And so if you guys love video games, consider subscribing, sharing with your friends. We cover video games daily on this channel. It doesn't matter what you love, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be. Consider subscribing, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, especially the support on this video right here. But let's get talking about Warner Bros. Games. So I'm pretty sure it was their earning call that happened recently where we got a lot of this information, or it may have been an interview with like one of the head executives or something. But we basically got information on 3 projects specifically. However, we did get information about something else that is very interesting. So the games that we got information on is Wonder Woman, Hogwarts Legacy 2, and a new Batman Arkham game. So first off, if you hear those 3 games, you're like, okay, that sounds cool. Those 3 games sound interesting, sound exciting, right? The problem is when you get into what some of these games, like what details and information we actually learn, it starts getting a little bit concerning. And so we're going to start with the concerning piece first. And that is Monolith's upcoming Wonder Woman is struggling in development. So, look, this honestly does not come as a huge shock to me. This game was announced, back in like 2021, maybe 2021, at the Game Awards. It was just a CG trailer. It literally just showed Wonder Woman, and it showed the logo. That was it. And we have not seen it since. Not an ounce of that game we've seen. And apparently, development rebooted as early as 2024. So, look, I can't say I didn't see this coming. Because when you don't see a game for that long with as little information as we've gotten, you kind of just have to wonder, is there something going on behind the scenes that we don't know? Is there some sort of struggle happening? And, well, it was pretty much confirmed that that is the case, that Wonder Woman is, in fact, in development struggle. So, apparently, they rebooted development in 2024. The directors have switched. The game has already cost more than $100 million, and it is apparently still years away from launch, if it ever does. This is a really rough report here. This is a really rough report. Honestly, like, this is the kind of report that you just have to ask yourself, does a cancellation make the most sense here? If they just rebooted it last year, if it's already cost more than $100 million, and it is still years away, and directors have been switching, I mean, where's the confidence in this? Where's the confidence in this? Where is the, from a business perspective, where is the margin for profit on this? Now, don't get me wrong, Wonder Woman, I love the idea of getting a AAA Wonder Woman game, right? I love the idea of that. But if you're already spent $100 million on this game, and you just had the Suicide Squad game completely flop, and you've had a lot of other superhero games flop in the last generation, right? Are you that confident in this game that it is not going to be a flop? I'm not saying that it will be. I'm not saying that it has a really high possibility. I think Wonder Woman, again, is a very interesting idea, and I've seen a lot of excitement for the idea of a Wonder Woman game. The problem is we just don't know anything about the game. We're hearing now that it's in struggle. There's just nothing to go off of except this really bad report that happened today about Wonder Woman. So you have to ask yourself, does this have a chance of getting canceled? And I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, it does. Like, I would not be shocked if by the end of the year we hear that this game has been canceled. And I really I really feel for that, because I was excited for this game. I was really interested in seeing more of this game. But we just may never see it. Now, I'm not saying it will get canceled. I'm not saying it will. But I do think there is a very good chance that it does. If it does not, I think we're looking at 2027, 2028 the earliest at this point. So, yeah, it's going to be a long wait. And at that point, if it is 2027, 2028, that means we'll have waited about 8 years since the initial reveal of the game. And that's just, you just don't like to see that. You don't like to see that. But we do got good news, hopefully. And that is that a new Batman Arkham game, or not even Batman Arkham, just a new Batman game is in development at Rocksteady. The game is still years away from releasing, though. It is reported that Rocksteady wanted to go back to a single-player format, and they have chosen to do Batman. So, look, I love the Batman Arkham games. They are some of my favorite superhero games of all time. I think they are just absolutely phenomenal. Some of my favorite things Batman ever. Like, I personally hate Batman. I'm not a Batman fan. Like, as a character, he's just, I think he's like one of the worst superheroes. I'm gonna keep it real, all right? But Batman Arkham games are fire. They are straight fire, all right? So here's what I can take away from this. Rocksteady just released Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League last year, and it was a fail, it was a flop, it was whatever negative term you want to give it, right? But that is a different story, because they were basically forced to create a live service game. They were basically forced to create a game that they didn't want to make, right? Because Warner Bros. Wanted money, and they were like, hey, live service games make money. No, they don't. 1 out of 5 times they do. Not even 1 out of 10 times they do. And they took a risk on it, and it completely backfired. Rocksteady now wants to go back to single-player game. The problem is, through that whole process, Rocksteady lost a lot of their talent. They lost a lot of directors. They lost a lot of creatives. They lost a lot of just workers, developers, right? Whatever Rocksteady is making this Batman game it's not the same Rocksteady that made Arkham Knight. It's not the same Rocksteady that made Arkham City, right? It's not those same developers. That's not to say that some developers are still there. There is still some of the same team there, but it's not all of them. And that's not to say times have changed. Technology has changed. The way we look at games, the way the games are developed, and the formula behind them has changed. Just because they're going back to Batman does not automatically mean, oh my gosh, we're going to get another S-tier Batman game. No, that's not really the case. Do I have hope? Absolutely. Rocksteady, at the end of the day, they still are very, very talented. Even with all the flaws of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, there were positives about that game that I found. And one of those was its story, its visuals, right? There were a lot of things about that game that I was like, you know what? Solid. But the game is still not great, right? So there's definitely hope for this Batman game. And I think no matter how you feel or how confident you are, this is good news. I mean, we could have woke up today and they were announced they're making a live service, Suicide Squad game again, right? We don't want to hear that. We want to hear Rocksteady is going to work on a single player game, and it luckily is the franchise that they are known for. Now, personally, I would like them to go somewhere else other than Batman, but still stick to that single player format, just because I feel like the Batman thing, I wouldn't touch that, really, if I was them. I get it, Batman Arkham, we want more of it. We did just get that meta quest game, Batman Arkham Shadow, which was very, very good. I actually finished that like a couple weeks ago. Very great game. But again, this is a studio that hasn't touched that series in dang near a decade at this point, and the game is still a few years away. Times have changed, so we'll see how it comes out. But nonetheless, the good news here is that Rocksteady is working on a single player game, and apparently it is in the Batman IP. So we're gonna have to just wait and see what transpires from that. Now, that doesn't mean it's Batman Arkham. People are saying they want a Batman Beyond game, which would that would go crazy. That would be absolutely insane. It could just be a whole new thing. Like, it could be so many different things, right? But I'm just happy they're working on a single player game. And then the other report that happened today is that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is reportedly already in development. Now, I'm surprised that, like, this report tells me that, like, it kind of just started, like, last year or something, right? Like, it's already in development. Yeah, the game came out in 2022. No, it came out in 2023. Sorry, it came out in 2023. Are you telling me they didn't start development like immediately after that game. It kind of, I don't know, that kind of surprises me, right? I feel like the report should have been like development for Hogwarts Legacy 2 is well on their way, right? Or development 2 has been going strong, or Hogwarts Legacy 2 is progressing, right? Not that development has or is already in development. I don't know. It's a weird phrasing, but nonetheless, this is a given. Hogwarts Legacy has been Warner Bros. Games' biggest success in a long time, by a long shot. Hogwarts Legacy is it was one of the biggest games of 2023. It was the first game in a decade to outsell Call of Duty. Insane. Insane numbers, right? So we'll kind of see when this game comes out. My guess would be we will see it maybe in 2026. Maybe it comes out in 2027. That's my guess. But honestly, who knows? Nonetheless, I'm excited for this. I really liked Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not a Harry Potter fan whatsoever. It's just not a franchise I'm interested in whatsoever. But the game has quality. The game is quality. The game is fun. There's a lot of things I think they can improve on, which I'm looking forward to see if they can do in a sequel. So, nonetheless, this is, again, good news and exciting stuff. So, one other thing that I want to talk about is Warner Bros. Montreal is reportedly helping development on Wonder Woman. And they decided to start working on or assisting Wonder Woman because they scrapped multiple projects. Now, I don't know how far in development these projects were. I don't know what transpired for this to happen. But these scrapped projects were revealed. And this is interesting. So apparently, a Flash game was canceled. That's right. The DC speedster himself, the Flash, had a game in development, but was canceled due to the failure of the movie. Now, there's a whole discussion that we could go into here. You know, why the movie even has an effect on a game, or, you know, if the movie was even as bad as people think, which I thought it was okay. It was literally just okay to me, right? And so, and then we could talk about, is a Flash game even a good idea? Number one, absolutely. I think a Flash game would cook. It'd be so, I don't know like how great it would be, but like, I want to see it. I want to see what the vision was. Like, I want to see what a Flash game would even look like, right? It's just nothing. We've never gotten a Flash game, right? So I feel like that would be really, really cool just to see that. So that is really unfortunate that a Flash game was canceled. But then apparently they pitched a John Constantine game and it was not approved. Now, as cool as that would have been, again, to see a John Constantine game, I'm not surprised that wasn't approved because, again, I don't know where, like, the success confidence would be in that, right? As much as us DC fans and as much as, like, us hardcore fans would probably be into it, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Like, I don't blame Warner Bros. For not approving that, but I am mad at them for not approving that. Does that make sense? Like, my goodness, do I wish a John Constantine game was happening. But apparently, now they're in the process of pitching a Game of Thrones game. So we'll see if that gets approved. But in the meantime, they're assisting on development for Wonder Woman. So really, they don't know what Warner Bros. Montreal is doing. They like Montreal's just kind of all over the place doing whatever they can at the moment. Monolith is trying to work on this Wonder Woman game. Rocksteady just started a single-player game that is supposedly Batman, and Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development. So, you know, there's a lot of other things we can discuss. What is NetherRealm Studios up to? I'll tell you what they're up to. They're finishing up DLC on Mortal Kombat 1. Who knows if they've started working on their next game? I really hope so, and I really hope it's Injustice 3 or something different. I do not want another Mortal Kombat. Let that rest for a hot minute, right? But, you know, there's just so much to go over, and I think the overall consensus is Warner Bros. Look, Warner Bros. Used to be one of my favorite publishers, and I still like them, right? Like, just because they have a rough period does not mean I just don't like them. If they start putting out great games, boom, perfect. I still I love a lot of their past games. I love a lot of their franchises. I'm always going to have hope for Warner Bros. Games. But right now, they are not good. Right now, Warner Bros. Games is not good. They are not publishing great games, and they just keep making a lot of bad and poor business decisions. So we'll see where the future of Warner Bros. Is up to. Personally, the future, I don't know. I wouldn't say it looks bright, but I don't think it looks grim, right? I mean, Rocksteady's going back to single-player games, supposedly Batman. Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development, the sequel to one of their most successful games in recent times. Wonder Woman is still alive, even though struggling, it's still alive, right? Montreal's trying to pitch interesting games at the very least. I mean, Game of Thrones doesn't really interest me, but there's going to be a lot of people who do find that interesting. Mortal Kombat 1 is ending DLC. Hopefully they're working on their next game, right? There is a lot to be hopeful for. I just don't think there's a lot to be confident in. I think that's like the overall consensus and conclusion that I can take from this whole Warner Bros. Situation today is there's hope, but there's no confidence. And so I really hope they're able to switch it around here because, like I said, I was a huge fan of Warner Bros. Games. And I can just hope, I just hope they can turn it around. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of this whole shenanigan? I would love to talk about it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.